Welcome, ladies and gent. This is our continued series of walk and roll training workshops. Today, we're going to dive into maximizing the mission of the cause and of our organizations. And you're going to hear me refer today to our organizations, because we actually are representing two organizations this year with the Walk and Roll, the FSHD Society and the FSHD Canada Foundation. So as I say, if I refer to organizations, those are the two organizations that I'm referring to. We're also going to review kind of where we are in the timeline leading up to our Walk and Roll date, make sure kind of we're on track, where we're supposed to be, as our first walks, if you can believe it, are happening in just a little over 7 weeks. Ashley, tell me, we've got Pacific Northwest and Colorado that first weekend in September, right?
That is correct.
Okay, no big deal. We got this, guys. We got this. So I'm hoping that we are all hoping after today that you will feel inspired to infuse the mission into every aspect of your event, that you have a renewed sense of enthusiasm for what the Walk and Roll can do for our FSHD community. And I'm just going to check in with you to make sure that we're on track and clear with our timelines. But first, before we get into it, we need to celebrate some things. And you may or may not have heard, I'm so excited to announce that a very generous donor has extended a matching gift challenge to all of our Walk and Rolls, that they would like to match the first $250,000 raised by all of the walks. So that's just great. And I am now actually allowed to say that is the Live family that has generously given us this magic donation. The way that it's going to work for each of the walk is they will receive a portion of that match for their walk, and it's going to be based upon your goal. So we've gone through, looked at everybody's goals and parsed out the $250,000 for each walk. And in the next week or so, you're going to see magically the match is going to appear on your Classy website. And so donations that come in after that, you'll see will start to be matched. So that's just amazing. So let all of your team captains know that every dollar that they raise right now will be doubled. Our San Diego walk actually has a matching gift challenge, and anonymous donor Amy will match the first $22,000 raised for the San Diego walk. But the way, and I'll explain this to Amy, but it randomly picks from the different matches to match the donations to the San Diego walk. I also want to report that 75 teams have registered compared to this time last year when only 44 teams have registered. Participants, we have 260 participants registered compared to last year when we only had 137 participants registered. And as of yesterday, we've raised over $68,000, where last year at this time we had raised $55,000. So you guys, we are well on our way and we're just doing amazing. So keep up the good work. And I also wanted to let everybody know that our beloved Max Adler will be returning as our walk ambassador this year. He's set up a team page on the LA walk. He's collecting donations already, and he's already begun to spread the word on all of his social media channels. So very excited to have Max Adler join us again this year. He's just such a great advocate for us, and we just love the guy to death. So I just want to remind us all of the missions of both the FSHD Society and of the FSHD Canada Foundation. Our 3 Canadian walks support the FSHD Canada Foundation. They are on our websites and also on all of the materials that we put out there. But it's just important to review and keep these things in the back of our mind and everything that we do and communicate. So the mission of the FSHD Society is to find treatments and a cure for FSHD while empowering our families. And our promise is, as long as we are here, no patient will ever need face this disease alone. And according to the website on the FSHD Canada Foundation, it's a similar goal. The FSHD Canada Foundation is here to help find a cure as soon as possible for Canadians who suffer with FSHD. So those are the missions that we posted for the 2 organizations. What else did I want to say here? I think that's it. All right. So The walk and roll to cure FSHD, obviously, first and foremost, is always a fundraiser. Raising critical funds is the primary function of the walk. But that being said, it is also a really tremendous opportunity to build awareness, to deepen relationships among the community, and to educate folks about FSHD and all the work that our organizations are doing to advance research, to speed the delivery of therapies for families. So while fundraising is the primary goal, maximizing a person's affinity for our missions and building these relationships is the heart and the soul. Especially now, like in this extraordinary point in time where the progress of therapies is so close and clear. I don't know if you guys were just on the webinar that we just had about, not very long ago, 20 minutes ago, we just got off of that. Epic Bio just went over their therapy that they will be launching into clinical trials the first part of 2024. It's a gene editing therapy in 2024. This is insane. So really, and they explained it to me. I'm just going to go in a rabbit hole really quick. Gene editing to me was always very scary, but the way that they really made us feel better about the safety of it is it's not cutting the gene like you hear CRISPR technologies typically do. It's some other technology so it doesn't affect the DNA. I don't know if I'm saying that right, Jack. He was on the webinar, but anyway, I'm just excited for all of this, all of these crazy therapies that are coming down the pipeline. Beth,
the other exciting news was there was general consensus that the muscle can be regenerated. And they explained that FSHD muscular dystrophy is a little bit different than other muscular dystrophies, where once the muscle is gone, it's gone. But with FSHD, I couldn't really understand it, Beth. But the good news is we've got a type of muscular dystrophy where those muscles can easily rejuvenate themselves. Am I saying it correctly?
I heard that. Yeah, and I heard that too, Jack. And I don't know if they were just saying that like maybe that could happen or factually that could happen. But I think that you're right. The consensus is that especially with FSHD, because there could be some healthy muscle left in the different, organs, that it could regenerate itself. So I'm going with that.
Okay.
Was that a Zoom that was recorded and we can look at?
Yeah, so it usually takes about a week for us to edit the video and get it up on YouTube, and it'll be there.
Great.
Okay. Anyway, so that is the primary goal. Maximizing the affinity for our mission is the absolute heart and soul of the walk and rolls. So with that, on event day, this is the one single day where you're going to have the largest crowd of people that are gathered together that have some connection to FSHD in some way, shape, or form, whether it be a loved one, a family friend, a colleague, a coworker, a church friend, whatever. This is going to be the one day where you have everyone together that has some affiliation with FSHD. So it could quite possibly be the first time that people are with others that also have a connection to the disease. Keep that in mind. So there's really, really great power in that fact. Like I said, there's going to be family and friends, colleagues, business associates. I cannot speak. I'm out of my words. Business associates, other relationship community groups that will likely know very little about FSHD or our organizations. So you're really going to want to take advantage of that fact and be very intentional about how you captivate the audience and tell the story. So you may want to consider even asking someone affected to speak at the start line ceremony and to share their story and their journey with FSHD. Last year, and actually I'll get into it a little bit later, but we had two people at the Colorado Walk speak last year. Both were patients, and you could have heard a pin drop when they were speaking. And, we had 200 people in the audience and we were outdoors, and it was absolutely silent while people were listening to these people talk about their patient journey. And it made me cry, but everything makes me cry these days. So, all right. We've seen tremendous things happen where someone who is impacted personally by FSHD, living with this disease every day, whether it's a patient themselves, someone close to them, when they feel empowered, inspired, renewed, it gives them a greater sense of purpose in so many ways. This can really be an event for that just gives them a way to really fight back. And it helps give the people around us a way to help us as well, when perhaps they really didn't feel like they could do anything before. I have so many stories of friends telling me, you know, maybe they don't have a ton of money to, to give, but you know what, they can show up for me on walk day, and that's how they support us. And I've heard them say, I'm so glad you guys are doing this, because I really didn't know how to support you and Jeff. I didn't know, but you know what, I can show up for your dang walk, and I can spread the word on my social media, So while we work for treatments and a cure, the walk is like a tangible, living, breathing thing, where they can actually play a part in making a very real difference in their lives, if it's a patient or a family, and then the lives of others, if it's a family or friend. It's really a beautiful thing to see, I think. So we don't want to miss it. We make sure that we're fostering this as best as we can, because it's really awesome. And so I'm going to go into a few ways that we can actually do that. So yes, I'm going to go through a list of a few things to do all this, but I want to find what resonates with you the most, what fits in with your planning team, and what's doable given how much support you have. So Sue, you're a team of 1.5. Laura, you're a team of 2. Take everything that I'm going to say, put it in the back of your mind and say, you know what, I can probably do one of the 5 things that Beth mentioned, or you know what, I'm probably not going to be able to do any of them, but I'll have somebody speak at the start line ceremony. Just take all of these things I'm going to give you and compartmentalize it, and then decide what's right for you, for your walk, and for the people that are helping support you at the walk. Okay. So pre-event, we will be doing a lot of these things as well in our kind of all our standardized communications that we're sending out. We call them cultivation communications. But you'll have an opportunity to really infuse compelling personal stories into anything that's public facing. So anytime you can make it personal and real, that will speak to a person's heart. So first and foremost, the Classy fundraising page should have your personal Classy fundraising page should have your story of why, or your family's why, and you can encourage other participants to do the same. So I tell the story on my page, about my husband's diagnosis, our journey. This is why it's important. It's a hereditary disease. I have family, blah, 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 blah. So once you can personalize that and make it real and tangible to people, it will mean more to them as well. Let's see. We've already talked about some different ways to engage patients and families, but perhaps they can make welcome calls or write thank you notes. So if someone comes to you, a patient or family member, says, look, I really don't want to be part of your planning committee, but I would really like to help in some way. And you could say, great, I'm going to send you a list of people who've signed up as team captains. Would you like to send them a quick handwritten note, a thank you note, an email, just with some appreciation and encouragement? That'll give them something important to do that really supports the walk as well. So engaging patients or families, especially the ones that come forward to say, I'm here to help, but you know what? I don't want to be on your committee. Those are some great things that they can do. So really, no matter how deeply their life is impacted by the disease or even by their particular mobility issues, there's always a role they can play. We can find it. We can get them engaged to the degree that they want to be. So if someone comes to you and you're not exactly sure where they fit in, give one of us a call, because I've got a whole list of things for volunteers that they can do that will help them feel empowered as well. Let's see. All right, this is day of event. So the day of event, again, is the tremendous opportunity to really inspire and motivate everyone that's there. In the walk toolkit, in the event day folder, there's great sample start line script to follow. All you really got to do is fill in the blanks. So it's honestly, we call it Swiss cheese. So it's got holes in it. It says, welcome to the bleh, walk and roll. Thank you for coming to bleh on this day. We have raised bleh amount of money. So it's the Swiss cheese where you just fill in the holes, but the script is actually written and can be applied to every single walk and roll. We actually like if you use that script because we like the message to be consistent across the entire North America when we're hosting these things. So in the toolkit, again, there is a script that you can follow, fill in the blanks. But a part of that start line ceremony should really contain a powerful, compelling personal story. So whether it's yours, or someone else's, just keep in mind it really should be delivered well so that it's received well. So you're going to want to have someone that's well-spoken, concise but impactful, loud like me so people can actually hear them, or have a really good sound system so everyone can hear them. And for example, at our Colorado Walk and Rolls, my husband Jeff has done this in the past. He's a really good public speaker. He tells his story in a really impactful way, so that you just get a sense of what it feels like to travel the journey of FSHD. This past year, I told you we had a spouse telling her story. We had a mother and an adult patient telling their story. So it's good to kind of incorporate different aspects of the journey, whether it be a caregiver, a friend, or the patient themselves. Have them say a few words at the start. Let's see, what else did I want to say? Oh, mission message signs. Say that fast 3 times. This is what the picture you see at the left is there. We call them these mission message signs. They have their roots in the cornfields of Kansas. If you've ever driven down the highway through Kansas, with billboards that kind of send a message all along the way. Hi, Jane. Welcome.
Hi. I had technical issues. I am so sorry.
No worries.
Anyway, I'm on.
Okay. This is Jane from Alberta, up in Calgary, Canada. So welcome, Jane.
Thank you. Thank you. My apologies.
No worries. It's been recorded, Jane. So I'll send out the recording to you later so you can watch the first half.
Thank you.
But I'm talking about, see the little picture on the left here. These are called mission message signs. And I was saying that they have their roots in the cornfields of Kansas, they say. So when you drive down the highway, you see like a billboard building upon itself and kind of sending a message along the way. And like I said, I'm sure you've seen them. So it's like biggest ball of twine. Have you ever seen it? Come visit. Next exit, 124. Come see the biggest ball of twine. I'm sure you've seen them. And anyway, this is kind of where these signs have their roots, because you're going to want to post them along the walk route. If you're able, like some people have concrete walk routes, so you can't really stick them in anything. But if you have a sidewalk and you've got grass along, you just kind of put them along the walk route. They're all different. They have different messages. It educates people. It gives them information about FSHD. It inspires them. You know, some of them say, you know, you are helping to find a cure. So it educates and inspires people along the way. And whether they know it or not, they're reading them and it's getting in their brain. And so you're actually infusing the message into their brain. We've created a document that is in the toolkit that you can just download and take to your printer or send it to an online sign printer to make these real small yard signs. Or you can just print them out on your computer at home, like on some cardstock, and stick them to like one of those Home Depot paint sticks, and just stick them wherever. But whatever you do, it's great to have these mission message signs all around the walk route. And what I do is we get a lot of kid volunteers. We get like a handful of Girl Scout or Boy Scout volunteers to help us. And in the morning, you can hand them a stack of signs and say, hey, you know, here's the walk route. Go around and just put these around the walk route before everybody shows up. We have an I'm walking for sign in the toolkit that you can print out and have available for people to fill in and tape it to their shirt or just carry. Or you can create stickers to kind of do the same thing. They can even do it right at check-in. When they check in, you can hand them a sign and a Sharpie, and they can just fill in who they're walking for and carry that with them. Another easy thing to do is called a wall of hope or a wishing wall. You can get a big king size sheet, make sure it's clean, hang it up, have some Sharpies. Someone could start it, you know, have a volunteer man it, hand out Sharpies, just so people can come by and write their hope for the future, or a message to their loved one, or who they're walking for today, or why they're there, or what they want to tell patients that are there today. It's just a really cool way to see the wall develop with all these beautiful messages. I've seen it done before with butcher paper, wood, bed sheets, really the easiest. But this is something that you can just fold up, stick in the back of your car, and bring back every year, and just keep filling it up every year. And then once it's full, it's just part of your annual decoration. And then if you want to involve patients and families, we've kind of already talked about someone speaking during the start line ceremony, but you can have, if someone doesn't want to speak, but you want them involved, you could actually have someone cut the start line ribbon if there's one. We have volunteers, like 2 little Girl Scouts, stand on either side with a ribbon and just hold it while somebody cuts it when we blow the horn to start the walk. Or you can have patients and families be a cheering section at the end of the finish line with noisemakers, pom-poms, and they can thank people and cheer them on as they cross the finish line. And that's pretty powerful too, when the people you're walking for are actually thanking you at the very end for being there for them. Because not everyone at the event will necessarily have someone they're walking for, they may have been recruited and are just, have a tangential connection to somebody there. But so we want to make sure they leave with some sort of connection, even if they didn't come with one when they started. And I mentioned the start line ceremony script, the Swiss cheese, as we call it. Jane, there's a sample script in the toolkit where you can just fill in the pertinent information about your walk.
Okay.
So we give you everything in the toolkit. There's everything you need. And if you can't find it, it's somewhere and we'll find it for you. Okay. Post-event. Again, we just want to make sure we send thank you notes. You could have patient or family members write handwritten thank you notes to the team captains, top fundraisers, addition to the one that the walk leader writes. So we always, send a thank you from the walk leader. We always send a generic one from the FSHD Society and from the FSHD Canada Foundation. We always send a generic thank you to the world, but it's always really meaningful. Honestly, there's probably a handful of team captains that really made the day, and sending a handwritten note to those folks after the fact, as well as your sponsors, is really powerful. Let's see.
Do you have FSHD note cards you could send us?
As a matter of fact, how many did we just order today, Jess? 1,000? I knew that was going to come up soon because you asked for them once already, and we did just order a ton of them. And I will send everybody a stack of probably a dozen so that they have them on hand after the walk. And actually, Jane, I'm going to probably order some special ones so that they have both logos on them. The ones we ordered today just have the society's logo on them. But or maybe, you know what, maybe we'll just order some with just the walk logo. That might be more, that might resonate better. So anyway, stay tuned for that.
Thank you.
Let's see. So like I said, we'll be sending some generic updates to all the participants to update the people on the progress of the research and the therapy developed. Again, this is after the fact. But of course, adding a personal note to these generic messages and kind of forwarding them out to everybody will really keep them connected to the mission. So I believe we have a cadence of, we'll send a message at like 6 weeks, and then at 3 months, and then at 6 months, and then at 9 months, just thanking everyone from the past participants from the past year. When you get them, what I'm saying is just forward them along with, hey, and thank you so much for coming to the Mid-Atlantic Walk. Love you, man, Lori. You know what I mean? So if you include a little personal message when you forward the email, it really goes a long way. Let's see. I think I've covered everything here. It's all about thank yous and staying connected. And staying connected is really simple. All right. Okay, so we can really get caught up in all the stuff that you got to do on event day, making sure the check-in runs, making sure the people that wants t-shirts get them, making sure we have balloons and granola bars and water bottles, blah, 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 blah. So I just want to make sure that the mission is the top of mind for everyone, that it's intentional every step of the way, and that it's the center and properly infused to everything we do at the event. And just remember that that's why we're there, guys. It's first and foremost a fundraiser, but by God, we are also there to make FSHD well-known, educate people that didn't know about it before, and infuse the mission the whole way. And that will keep coming back. And if you put that out there, donations will follow. I promise you that. Let's see. I have some notes here. I'm just looking at my notes, make sure I didn't miss something. We just really want everyone to, there to know that they go home with an understanding of what FSHD is, understanding how and why our organizations are such a critical part of creating a brighter future for everyone that lives with this disease, and that we are creating a pathway for therapies and a cure. So it's kind of those three things. What is FSHD? What our organizations are doing to create a brighter future, and that what they are doing, what they are funding is creating the pathway for therapies and a cure. So it's that simple, right? Okay. Any questions to this point before I move along to kind of a quick timeline check? Okay. Jess, are you scared yet?
No, I'm excited.
Okay, good. And Ashley too, this is their first year. Well, Lori, you participated in our LA walks in the past, but for Jane and Ashley and Jess, this is their first year, and Susan OG. So, you know, she can probably give more examples of things that work than I can. Okay, just here's a little Google Drive toolkit review. If you navigate to your Google Drive, and hopefully you've bookmarked the Walk and Roll toolkit, but if you navigate to the to-dos and how-tos folder, you will find the sample timeline inside. And we've also added a checklist. So for those of you who think less in timelines and more in tasks, the checklist is actually more efficient for you than the timeline. I am a sequential thinker, so I need to know what's coming next. So the timeline is for me. It lays everything out chronologically, and the checklist is kind of grouped by subject areas that actually, if you think about it, could make it easier for you to assign tasks to volunteers. So somebody says, I'd love to help. What can I do? You can look at the checklist timeline thing, and it might be grouped by online marketing, and it'll say, 6 months out, do this, 3 weeks out, do this, 2 days before, do this. And you can say, could you just make sure that we are on all the online calendars, in the area, and you can send them that little, the few checklists of things to do. And it's just easy to parse out things to volunteers that way. It's all the same stuff, just in 2 different formats. Google Drive toolkit. If you don't know where the toolkit is, let us know, and we will burn it in your brain. Okay. So, oops, let me go back here. So some things that probably should be complete by now, or dang close to being done. Of course, you should have your date, time, and place secured and submitted to us so that we've got all the stuff. I know, Jane, you're still working on the contract for that park, but I'm confident.
Well, we're at a point, because Karen and I were talking about it, they better give us that spot. Because I'm stressed. I've written them and said it's a fundraiser. It's, time and date sensitive, and they keep saying, oh, they're working on it. They have so many requests. I'm like, okay.
Okay, well, if it's in your backyard, it'll have to be in your backyard. We'll see.
That's it. It's always right in front of my house. Karen's house, my house, we can walk around the park.
Well, actually, that's a backup plan. So I think you've got a good idea there. All right. Do you have a friend or two that can help? Make sure you can delegate. Okay. This is not something you need to be doing yourself. And I think you guys all know that there's people that you can delegate to. And even more, Miss Sue, keep it simple so that if you don't have a billion people to delegate to, then the things that you are doing are more just like, oh yeah, done that. And just keep it as simple as possible. Make sure you work with your regional director on your Classy website. Once you have detailed event information, we're going to want to include that on the front page of the website. I don't know if there's weird parking instructions, if Google Maps actually takes you to the wrong side of the park and they need to come around on a different street. Just make sure your regional director has all of that information so that we can put it on the website there. And make sure that you have actually signed up and started your own team on the website, because nobody's going to sign up. No one's going to be the first unless it's you. So want to make sure that you're the first person signed up and started your team. Our deadline for t-shirt sponsorships is quickly approaching. We've actually almost completed the design of the back of most of our shirts. And Sue, I want to get with you specifically to see how you want, your sponsors represented on the back of your shirt, but we will send out a mock-up of what the sponsorships look like on the back, and you guys can say yay or nay. And I will let you all know that we will be adding the Live family as a matching gift sponsor to the back of all of our shirts as well.
Great.
You want to make sure we can post onto all of our local event calendars. TV and radio stations usually have a website that have a calendar on them that you can post on there. Online community boards. If any of you are members of the Nextdoor app, I always post the event on Nextdoor so people, in the surrounding areas can see it. I don't know if you have that app up in Alberta, Jane.
We do.
It's called, oh, you do? Nextdoor. There you go.
Well,
you can print off the flyers and post them in coffee shops. Our Starbucks is really awesome. They have this giant community board, and all you got to do is say, hey, I'm a nonprofit organization. Can I put this on your community board? And they said, sure. And then they just go through and they look at the end dates, and they'll just take the flyers off of the community board as the dates pass. And then if you happen to be seeing your doctor anytime soon, be sure to leave a flyer at the doctor's office so other families that are coming in to see your same doctor might see it as well.
Are the flyers on the website already?
What now?
Are the flyers on the website that I can pull to print?
So they will be in your Google folder.
Oh, they're there.
Flyers in your Google folder. Yeah. And you can even use the one that you printed out for the lab day, Sue, because that has the QR code on there too.
Okay.
Yeah. Right? Didn't we made a postcard for the walk for the lab day? You can use those.
Okay.
Yeah. And of course, alert your entire network, all your family, friends, and then of course, put it out on your social media, because I have people following me in my social media that I didn't even know I still existed. So, and believe it or not, people have donated to my cause. And I was like, wow, that person, I didn't know they were still alive. All right. And then, so this is the marketing that's going to be coming out from headquarters. Hopefully you guys received the beautiful postcard that was mailed in June. I did not receive it, so I don't know what happened. I don't know why I wasn't on that list. I was really excited to see the postcard, but I didn't get it. So anyway, we did actually physically mail a postcard because we don't have email addresses for everybody. So we wanted to make sure everybody that we at least had a physical address for got the postcard. We have sent out 2 recruitment series of email. We've got about 5 more coming in the next month and a half. Plus, so we separate out our email into what we call recruitment and cultivation. So recruitment is everybody who hasn't signed up yet, and we're going to keep bugging them until they sign up. Once they sign up, they get into the cultivation series of emails. So then it's more encouragement. Here's what you can do to make your fundraising go much easier. Don't forget to do this, 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 and this. So we'll be sending out a series of about 5 more recruitment emails until they sign up. And then the cultivation emails are actually automated out of the Classy system. We'll be doing some social media posts, both on Facebook and Instagram. We'll be doing some like paid ads on Facebook. And actually, I think that falls over into Instagram as well, so that we force ourselves into people's newsfeed. We have a beautiful walk and roll article. Actually, so the article will be in the monthly email newsletter that comes out electronically. And then we have a beautiful back page article that's coming out in the printed Advocate, in the July issue of the Advocate, that should be hitting printers soon, I'm thinking. Yeah, like it should be hitting mailboxes soon, I think. And then we've got our Teen Captain Rally and Social Hour on August the 3rd. It's an afternoon. So if you want to bring a libation to the social hour, we are absolutely encourage that. It's going to be a fun way to kind of educate teen captains how to get their teams excited, as well as get to know other team captains, maybe kind of collaborate on what people are doing to make their teams really big and fun. And then we're going to like spin the wheel and have some fun prizes and things like that. It's really a fun thing. Okay. I guess I'll read these out just really quickly. So next steps, where to focus your energy at the rest of this month. So if you haven't already, revisit your site plan and plan out your route, wherever your route is. Identify the nearest hospital and just keep information handy. If anything should happen, it never does, but if you don't have the information handy, it will. So what we encourage people to do, you aren't required to be a medical team on site, but just if anything happens, be sure you know where your local hospital is, and you can direct people how to get there, or better yet, take your cell phone and dial 911. Walk your route. Make sure you identify any access concerns, for mobility devices. Make sure that the surfaces are smooth. Make sure there's curb cutouts for people that are arriving on mobility devices, that there's adequate handicap parking, and that the bathrooms are accessible. And then confirm ownership of any spaces you intend to use. So most people don't use public streets or public sidewalks, but if you do, you just, a lot of times you need to notify the local police department that you'll be walking down, the sidewalk on Main Street, and they will either assign, a car to make sure that people cross the walk safely and things like that. But if you need any special permissions for anywhere that you're walking, just make sure you have those. Sponsors, this is the time to reach out to any and all business contacts. Maybe ask your team captains if they have a business, or if they have friends or family that have a business that would like to be sponsors. Get the logos for us. So we need a JPEG logo for the website, and then we need a special logo file for t-shirts. But again, if it's not to us by the 28th, they will not be on the t-shirt. You can ask sponsors to participate by forming a team. So my friend, the realtor, she always tries to sign up for my team. And I say, Miss Realtor lady, you got to form your own Front Range real estate team and have all of your agents be part of your team. And she's like, okay. So she formed her own team, even though she, just wanted to be a part of my team. And then just kind of map out any in-kind needs and solicit donations. So by that, I mean, coffee for the volunteers in the morning, pastries. And volunteers always like the pastries too. Granola bars, bottled water, things like that are super easy for a grocery store, or even a friend that will just say, don't worry about it. I'll go by Costco and get the giant 46 bottle of water thing and bring it along, and they'll just donate that because it costs $4. But it's something off of your plate that you won't need to think about. So just kind of think about in-kind, we call them in-kind donations that people could give, and then think about who could probably bring them. And then recruitment, of course, email all of the people that you know, and personal message and outreach is the best. The best way that I found is just to take the emails that we send and forward them along and just add a personal note to them. Convert your solo signups to team captains. That's what I was telling you. My friend Ruthie, she tried to join my team. I said, you should be your own team. So I converted her from a solo sign up to a team captain. And actually that means we've got 10 more people coming to the walk that we wouldn't have before. That's it. And then pump up your team captains. So as people sign up as team captains, every so often just reach out and say, yeah, you're doing a great job. Can't wait to see you. It's going to be a great year. It literally is maybe a dozen at the most. I think last year, our Colorado Walk, had the most team captains, and it was 12. So it was a matter of, reaching out to 12 people and just keeping them, because it lessens the work you have to do when the team captains are actually then reaching out to their team members to get them excited. So it's kind of the funnel thing. You talk to your team captains, and then they'll talk to their teammates. All right. So looking ahead, maybe some things to do in August, but feel free to start now if you'd like. So this is the time to really lay out event day and figure out what you need as far as volunteers and supplies. A list of recommended event day volunteers is actually in the toolkit. And just note that for check-in, our guidelines are that you'll need one check-in volunteer for every 30 people that you have registered for the walk. It will just make check-in go that much smoother if you have one person for every 30 people. And the people will just kind of filter in throughout the check-in time. So if you state that check-in's at 9 and the walk starts at 9:30 or 10, during that 30 minutes or hour period, people will just kind of come in every so often. But if you've got one check-in volunteer for every 30 people that are registered, it'll go really, really smooth. What else do I have here? I don't know about you guys, but I found the best volunteers to be Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts. They are always looking for volunteer hours. They have to get that badge, So if you have a contact, or if you have a connection with one of those groups, they usually send a bunch of volunteers. We actually had a bunch of little kids come last year, and all they wanted to do was play with the balloons, but That's okay. That was okay. They were cute and they loved the pom-pom. So it was cute. Let's see. I think we've got everything else on here. Good. All right. Just a couple of reminders. Only Mark Stone can sign contracts, except Jane, you and I talked. It was okay. That didn't use fine. It's more contracts that hold FSHD Society responsible for something. So in the case of the park permit, we are held liable for all the insurance if anybody should get hurt, right? So contracts like that are kind of what we're talking about. A contract for a sound system, we don't really worry about. That's okay. And I'm going to remind Miss Sue to keep it simple. It's not expected that you put on a carnival. The simplest events are always the best. You're not alone. You have us, you have each other. Please utilize all of our communications channels, email, text, voicemail, the Teams chat that we have on Microsoft Teams. Utilize all the channels to, and even the Facebook group that we have on Facebook. If you have a question like, hey, what's the best way to do blah? Don't hesitate to put it on that Facebook group. You know, there's a bunch of people that have opinions. So they'll be sure to respond. And don't ever hesitate, of course, to reach out to me, to Ashley, to Heidi, to Jess. And take it one step at a time. Of course, just do what you can, and what you can't do, oh, well, you know, it really. But the most important thing is we appreciate you and all the love and dedication that you're pouring into your event. We appreciate you guys very much. Just know that always. I want to give you a quick sneak preview on the t-shirt design. This is actually the color and the new graphic that we're putting on our t-shirts this year. And if you can't read it, it has the date 2023 at the top. And then underneath it says moving closer to a cure at the bottom. And we knew it was time to move on and actually hire a professional graphic designer to get us a good logo this year. In the past, it's been me and Lee, you know, kind of putting together something in Canva. But we wanted to get this professionally done this year. We've gotten much higher quality t-shirts and we really love the color of them this year. And actually the Canadian t-shirt supplier that we're using, it's slightly different. I think it's just a slightly different blue, but everything else is pretty much the same. Isn't it funny that the tats that are on this model, the t-shirt model, I'm wondering what they are. There's an elephant and that's funny.
Nice shirt.
Nice. It's really nice. Like it's stretchy and cotton and soft. And I think it's really pretty. I love the color of it too.
Yeah, me too.
Nan, mark your calendar and plan to join us August 3rd. It's a virtual event, so anyone can join from anywhere. So while we give our team captains some tips and tricks on how to be successful, we're also going to have some fun. We're going to hand out some prizes. We're going to be in each other's company. So it'll be really fun. It's in, like I said, afternoon, evening. You can bring a libation to have fun with us or not. I think we sent out our first email with a link to register. The link is actually on the website too, in the calendar. I think the email went out on Tuesday. So check to just see if your email is in your inbox to register for the team captain happy hour. And then if you would like, you can forward that email along to your current team captain so they don't forget to register as well. But it's going to be a lot of fun. And I pulled this picture in the middle. It's Ashley when she was 14. She was a cheerleader. No. Isn't that you when you were 14, Ashley?
Absolutely not. I have to be honest. I was more of a bookworm, so.
Oh, that's funny. Okay, so that's it. We've got only 2 more workshops coming up. So on August the 10th, we're going to talk about the day of event wow factor and how to really make the day of an experience that no one will forget. And then on August the 23rd, we have to go through all the boring stuff. And Jess, this is the one that you really need to be on. It's all the processes and procedures. So it's how you get people checked in, how you take donations and take care of any cash or checks that come in that day. It's basically all of the processes and procedures for that day, because that's the most stressful part of the day, is actually getting people checked in and making sure they get the shirts if they deserve one and all this stuff. So mark your calendar for these 2 dates. Again, we will always record them. We will always make sure that you have access to the recording so that you don't miss a thing. Also, just to put a bug in your ear, we're going to do the live stream again this year. It'll be on September the 23rd. So we're going to be reaching out to folks to appear on that live stream. And the way we did it last year, we've got 2 new walk leaders here. We'll just send out a spreadsheet, and we've got time slots. I think they're 10 minutes a piece, or even 5 minutes a piece. And our radio show host, Tim Hollenbach, will call you. You'll appear. No, you dial into Zoom, and then all of a sudden you appear and you're on with Tim. And he just asks you a few questions, how your walk is going, or how it went, if it was the weekend before, or what you have planned if it's the weekend after. And it's just, it's really fun, because all the walk leaders or participants or whatever get to kind of appear on the Facebook live stream that day. And it's really fun. So that I'll be reaching out to all of you to see if you would like to sign up for a time to be on the show that day. That'll be September the 23rd. And then, as always, thank you. You are our walk and roll superheroes.